Hi folks, RAYDVD here on the Movie Reviewers 100 channel again. This week it is a tribute to Philip Seymour Hoffman, who sadly passed away a few weeks ago through, well, we all know this was an overdose. But we're here to celebrate the films that he was in and the performances that he's left us behind in his legacy. So, pardon me. Yesterday EJ did Charlie Wilson's War, which I believe is a good film. I haven't seen it, but EJ made it sound really interesting film, so I've added that to my wish list. I want to talk about the 2007 film Before the Devil Knows That You're Dead. And it was directed by Sidney Lumet, who sadly this was his last film that he directed, but he was one of the most prolific Hollywood directors. He did stuff like Network, Serpico, Dog Day Afternoon, 12 Angry Men. Brilliant film. So that's the calibre that that we have in the direction of this film. It's got a fantastic cast. Of course, it's got Philip Seymour Hoffman in it. It's got Ethan Hawke, Marissa Tomei, and one of my favourites again is Albert Finney. So basically, it's a crime drama, and because it's Sidney Lumet, we get really good character development in the film. Philip Seymour Hoffman and Ethan Hawke, they play brothers who plot to rob their mum and dad's jewellery shop, and they think it's going to be just an insurance job. You know, it's going to be simple because when they're going to rob the jewellery shop, there's only going to be the Saturday employee who's an old woman there on the Saturday afternoon. Nobody's going to get hurt. No, Hoffman says to Ethan Hawke's character, no, just take a toy gun and you know the combination numbers and everything. It's going to be simple. You know, we'll all come out winners. You know, mum and dad will get the insurance money. We'll get away with the jewelleries. We can take it to the local fence. He can sell it off, and we're all in the money. You know, everybody's a winner. Unfortunately, Ethan Hawke is a weak sort of character. You know, and he gets scared that he's going to about the robbery and stuff, so he asked one of his friends, who's a bit of a sort of local thief, you know, to actually do the bank job. Ethan Hawke, he'll be the driver. It all goes awry. You know, the old woman shoots the guy. He shoots him cold dead out in the street, and Ethan Hawke, you know, tears away in the car, and he's like, oh, it's all mucked up, you know. And then he's on the phone to Philip Seymour Hoffman, his older brother, and you know, it says it's all went to pot, man. It's all went to pot. So that's the beginning of the film, and from there everything just unravels. You know, we see the chain of events and flashbacks. The first 20 minutes we see the Ethan Hawke character. We see that he's estranged from his wife. He's having money troubles. He's having to pay no child support and stuff, but he's not got the money. So that's why he's desperate for money. And then we see obviously the jewellery heist at the beginning. Then it goes to a flashback, and we see it from the Philip Seymour Hoffman character's point of view, where he's in debt, he's in money trouble as well. We see him, he's got a bit of a drug problem. We see him taking cocaine in his office, the real estate office, and then later on we see him shooting up heroin at his local sort of dealer and stuff. So he's in big trouble. You know, he's been skimming money off the real estate. He's been taking money out from checks that weren't in the system and stuff. You know, he's been nicking money and stuff. So he's got a plan that he's wanting to escape to Brazil with his wife, played by Marissa Tomei, and that's what motivates him, that he's wanting to make to do the bank robbery and stuff. Marissa Tomei, she plays Philip Seymour Hoffman's wife in The Hangman, but she's actually having an affair with Ethan Hawke. So we've got that flashback as well in it. So you see the threads are starting to unravel. You know, all the different subplots that are so prominent in a Sidney Lumet film. And then we find out as the film goes by that the old lady was actually in fact their mum, who was in the shop because the Saturday employee never turned up. So she actually gets shot by Ethan Hawke's accomplice, and then she's lying in a coma. The brothers find out and they rush to the hospital, and then obviously they're both guilt-ridden and stuff. And their dad is sitting by their mum's bedside, played by the father's played by Albert Finney. And then we see him in flashback. You know, what he does. You know, he has to pull the plug on his wife's in the hospital. You know, she's been pronounced brain dead, and he's got to take that decision to end her life or whatever. And so we see him trying to find out who the actual killer was. You know, he finds out who the robber was, and then he tracks like the gun, where the gun came from, and then he goes back to the fence where Philip Seymour Hoffman's character was going to he was going to dispatch the jewellery, and then he finds out that it was actually Philip Seymour Hoffman who's behind it all and stuff. So he pursues him to see, obviously there's going to be a confrontation, but it never actually comes to that because of the second part of the film is all about Philip Seymour Hoffman. No, he's unravelling, he's trying to tie at the loose ends. He starts going after everybody, you know. He's getting that desperate for money that he ends up going to his heroin dealer and then robbing him for the money and stuff, and he shoots about him stone dead as well, because he's not want any witnesses and stuff. It's very, very character driven. There's loads of different subplots in it, too many to mention here, but it's a really, really fine film. Philip Seymour Hoffman is absolutely amazing in this film. I've just finished doing watching a tribute weekend of his film. You know, I started off with State and Maine, which I was going to do for the Movie Reviewers 100, but this turned out to be I enjoyed this film better, so I thought I would talk about this film. So in this film he becomes, whereas the other films he's quite a benevolent character, and there's no really any danger in his characteristics and stuff. This film he becomes a desperate man. He's a bully, he's a manipulator, and at the end of the film we see how far he can go with violence, and is how desperate he becomes. So it really is a fantastic portrayal of his character in this film. Albert Finney, he's a couple of scenes with Philip Seymour Hoffman, which is pretty good to see. You know, Albert Finney's one of my favourite films, Saturday Night Sunday Born, and of course Albert Finney's in that, and it was just great to see these two legendary character actors in the one scene. And Ethan Hawke gives a great performance of this as well. He's known as he plays usually heroic types, or sometimes the leading man types, but this film he really gives a good performance. And Marissa Tomei, she's always good and stuff. You know, she does a good portrayal of her character in this as well. So a fine Philip Seymour Hoffman film. I would highly recommend this film. Really, really good, and it was difficult in some parts to see because his character in this film, you see him taking cocaine, and then you see him shooting up heroin, and you get a bit of art imitating life, you know, sadly. But this is what happens, you know, with drug addiction and stuff. It's not an easy thing, or there's no any simple solution really. So it was a bit difficult to watch the scenes, knowing what he had been through. So, but only the rest of the guys, look forward to the rest of the boys' reviews during the week. I'm sure they've got some good films to lined up, and check us out on Facebook and leave some comments.